Welcome to Elephant Rock State Park. We are having a great time in Missouri so far. There is so much to explore and see, and lots of good foods to eat. This is our last week in Missouri for now, and we are spending it in Big Creek RV Park in Annapolis, Missouri. Annapolis is a very small town in southeast Missouri, but since it sits in the St. Francois mountain range, it's close to quite a few state parks. And since Missouri state parks are free for all to visit, we were excited to book a site near so many fun parks. Big Creek RV Park and Arcadia Meadows Campground was a great RV park that sits along a creek. There are walking trails, laundry, showers, a pool, and a petting zoo, so this campground is not short of amenities. It was pretty quiet the week we were there, and the owner let us take our dogs out to the field and let them run. Between that and the trails, I know Miko and Bandit had a good time here. Our first day in the area, we headed to Elephant Rock State Park. This state park is just outside of the town of Pilot Knob, and even though it's one of Missouri's smaller parks, it is home to some huge boulders. The best way to see these unique rocks is to hike the Braille Trail, which was designed for people with visual and physical disabilities in mind. This trail is just under a mile and is paved, and it winds through the park and passes by an old quarry as well as tons of the large granite boulders this state park is known for. We also took a short spur that went to an old railroad engine house. Eventually, we made our way to the top of this granite outcrop where we made a huge discovery. Elephant Rock State Park is named after some giant granite boulders that some say are shaped like elephants. These giant rocks stand end to end like circus elephants and are made from granite that is over 1.5 billion years old. The largest boulder, named Dumbo, stands 27 feet tall and weighs 680 tons. It was so cool seeing these giant boulders up close and enjoying the view from this natural overlook. We had a ton of fun in this rocky park. After our hike, we stopped in Arcadia to eat at the Abbey Kitchen in the Arcadia Academy, a former girls' Catholic college. We ordered a Philly sandwich and a Mayday Monty, which had turkey, ham, and cheddar sandwiched between two thick slices of French toast. It was so good. We also happened to come in on a free bingo night, so we got to play a few games. The last game was Blackout and 59 balls or less for a $9,000 pot. Keisha ended up calling bingo, but not within the ball limit. She still won this cool set of plates, though. The next day, we drove to Sauk Mountain State Park, which has the highest peak in Missouri. We were able to drive to the top of the mountain, stopping at an overlook along the way to catch the view. Once we parked at the top, it was a short walk into the woods to find the highest elevation marker. Afterwards, we drove back down the mountain and into the town of Pilot Knob, where there sits the remnants of an old fort at the Battle of Pilot Knob State Historic Site. Here, a Confederate army of 8,000 led an attack on Union forces at Fort Davidson. During the 20-minute battle, 1,000 rebel troops either lost their lives or were wounded, while Union casualties were less than 100. Confederate troops fell back and planned to attack the next day. The Union forces knew they could not hold out for another day, so they quietly left the fort, leaving just a few men behind to blow up the fort and remaining supplies. It was interesting to walk around the remains of Fort Davidson and read the interpretive signs that tell the story of the battle. There were also a few cannons on the ground as well. It was an interesting and educational stop. On the way back to the campground, we stopped by this cute little roadside park. After work the next day, we headed to Sam A. Baker State Park. During peak season, this is one of the busiest parks in the state, but today it was quiet. We did a short hike down to the water and also drove down to the boat ramp to get another look at Big Creek. We also drove to the other side of the park where there is an old entrance built by the Civilian Conservation Corps. It was a nice drive in a beautiful area. On Friday, we drove to Johnson's Shut-ins State Park to go check out the shut-ins. These are rock formations found in the Ozarks that create narrow channels, pools, and rapids. Johnson's shut-ins are found in the Black River and are easy to access from the first part of the shut-ins trail. There are a couple spots overlooking the shut-ins, but you can also take some stairs down to the rocks themselves. This is such an amazing area. It was so cool to see all these rocks strewn around the river, creating rapids and little pools all over the place. In the summertime, people love to sit on the rocks and wade in the water. It was late afternoon on the day after Halloween when we were here, and we almost had the whole place to ourselves. It was such a fun experience, and we both loved it. On Saturday, we drove to Farmington, Missouri to run some errands. We drove into Hawn State Park and did a short walk to an overlook. We tried to do a longer hike on the Pickle Creek Trail, but it was so busy on a Saturday morning and we could not find a place to park. This is a beautiful but busy park, so if we are in the area again, we may have to visit on a weekday. We decided to have lunch at a little place in Farmington called Catfish Kettle. It looked good and it had great reviews, so we wanted to give it a try. Boy, it did not disappoint. We ordered Krabby Kettle cheese bread as an appetizer, which was Texas toast covered with crab and cheese. We've never had anything like it, and it was so good. Of course, I had to order fried catfish that came with coleslaw, mashed potatoes, and hush puppies. The catfish tasted amazing. Keisha had country fried steak with mashed potatoes and cucumber salad. Everything was so good here, we would definitely come back again. After running errands, we went back to the campground, let the dogs run around, and got ready to travel to the next destination, Arkansas. We loved our week here in southeastern Missouri. There are so many gorgeous state parks within driving distance, and some historic sites as well. Everyone we met here was friendly, the food we had was divine, and the sights were incredible. This area is absolutely worth a visit. Hope you enjoyed.